What's up, everybody, and welcome back to a How to Play here on the channel. Today I want to talk about Mitchell Janowick's, sorry if I messed that up, Life Recovery Girl deck that he got for his 11th place finish, at the KC RLE. What this video is going to try and do is I want to talk a little bit about what the deck list looks like as a whole, and then the strategies and tactics on how to best utilize this list. And then when we go back, we'll talk about some of the key pieces that I didn't highlight. So Recovery Girl is, she gains health, she builds foundations, she makes things throws, really awesome character card. The life package has kind of been solved at this point with things like Muscle Mauler, Focus Attack, Future Charge. All of these are like really classic. What really comes in here is the foundation lineup and how cool the foundations are that we can rebuild back in using that response, as well as the amount of damage reduction and such. This is I really like Life Recovery Girl when it comes to playing this really slow defensive I'll kill you eventually type game. She's really effective at it. So let's get into the idea of what is Recovery Girl 2. Recovery Girl, like I said, is a slow and steady deck. She wants to play the long game. She wants to play the game on her terms. How long can I draw out the game and accrue this advantage and poke you down and give this chip damage until I eventually get the job done, all the while gaining health and using damage reduction to say that I don't have 30 health, I actually have like closer to 60 health. Making sure that every attack is as useful as possible, not just for gaining advantage, but also making sure that it hits and deals some amount of damage. And the thing that really pushes this character over the edge for some people is her ability to reuse powerful or engaging foundations, right? I will destroy this thing and then rebuild it back in after I take 1 or 2 damage. You just the things that are supposed to be like once per game effects, because I've destroyed and removed them from my stage, I now get to build them right back in and utilize it for a second, third, fourth, fifth, 100th time. And so like there's the real appeal of this deck. So I want to talk a little bit about the bombs, right? We've got things like Focus Attack and Naval Laser Beam. Focus Attack being a tactic that uses all mids. If you go back to the deck list, it's an all mid attack lineup that says it's essentially like a 6 mid for 12 that you play super late in your string. Either your opponent takes a couple pokes because they're waiting for the Focus Attack, or they block that and then your Focus Attack is going to slam them. And even if they do block and they can block the Focus Attack, we can still make it a throw and make it a 6 guaranteed damage move. Not to mention things like Naval Laser Beam being, if I flip a couple foundations, it's a 5 mid for 8, a respectable move on its own, with a 2 mid block with Breaker 2 to interrupt and disrupt what my opponent's got going on. And the last card I want to talk about for the bombs is just Cardwell loading. Enhance, commit this card. Any of my cool throws get +3 damage is worthwhile. Any move I can make pretty meaty and make it matter. Not to mention, after you gain health, which, one of the things that Recovery Girl loves to do, you get to ready this card back up, both on my turn and your turn. So a very usable, expendable resource. Feels very good. Up next, I want to talk about some of the deck flow, some of the things that make the deck work. We've got things like Muscle Mauler, Future Charge, Blood Transfer. There's more. Muscle Mauler says destroy face down foundation, draw a card, and add one of your a card from your momentum up to your hand. So if I hit you once with the thing, Muscle Mauler says destroy a face down foundation that I've already used, that I probably built in for free, and then I get to go even on the Muscle Mauler, and then get an additional resource that you couldn't deal with before. Not to mention, this card's got this amazing static that says if I have more health than you, it gets -1 difficulty. This is already a pretty scary 6 diff 5 mid for 6 because of the fact that Recovery Girl gets to gain all this health back up. Sometimes it's just a 5 difficulty 5 mid for 6, which is very strong. And then we've got things like Future Charge and Blood Transfer that always get some sort of a payoff. Future Charge just replaces itself if it's the only one, but if you happen to draw it in pairs, you draw 1 off of the first one and then draw 2 more off of the second one. So drawing 3 cards total from your 2 card. Not to mention it's 2 attacks, right? It's 3 mid for 4, 3 mid for 4. They better have held 2 mid blocks, or if you want to, we can make them a throw and guarantee the momentum. Kind of the same idea here with Blood Transfer, where it's a 4 mid for 4 that if it's fully blocked, you take the top card of your discard pile and shove it into your momentum. Feels really good to just utilize that momentum instantly with things like Naval Laser Beam to unflip some really powerful techniques. as well as this momentum enhance is fantastic. I gain health, you lose health to trigger some of our cool cards, such as things like Excited for Blood. Every time that you lose health, I'm going to lose 2, draw a card, then flip this foundation in order to gain more. This feels like an amazing card to either destroy with Recovery Girl and then build back in, or even unflip with that Naval Laser Beam, and I can trigger it on my opponent's turn using cool things like Blood Evaluation. And then we've got so much damage reduction. Think cards like Ruthless Mockery, making all attacks get -2 damage, and then specific cards like Bonds of Friendship, targeting specific keywords for -3 damage, says that whenever you sling these big, crazy, heavy attacks, these 6 damage moves start becoming 1 or 2 damage moves. I'm down to take 1 or 2. I'm just going to first form heal that back up and build in the resource that I'm going to use to kill you on my turn. Cards feel very, very good if you're in for it. And not to mention, right, we talked about damage reduction. You're legally allowed to block in the game as well. Cards like Passing the Torch and Blood Evaluation, drawing cards on defense in order to find good blocks, feels really, really strong. And then lastly, Wild Pussycat saying form flip, so you don't even have to draw an attack card in order to utilize this one. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a foundation reveal this way to your hand, discard the rest. So not only do I find the best block that's of those 3, those other 2 resources go into my discard pile, so if I happen to take a hit, I can build them back into my stage afterwards. All 3 of these cards just incredible on for the defense and for the advantage gaining that Recovery Girl wants to do. And so there it is. There's the Life Recovery Girl list. A couple cards that I wanna point out here are things like Young Heroes of discarding cards in order to stop specific damage pumps, so that my damage reduction on my actions and foundations are a little more potent, as well as selectively committing cool things that could possibly deal with my throws, committing things like wall clings or resets or whatever I need. I really like the inclusion of Young Heroes here. And really cool things like Pump Up and Wealthy and Rescue Completed as like these really awesome one-ofs to just build in and have this really powerful utilization tool. Things like A Precious Lesson to rebuild back in your stage. Just like this whole deck feels so potent at, hey, don't kill me and I'll kill you eventually. So I want to give a big shout out again to Mitchell Janowick for his 11th place deck at the Kansas City RLE. Again, congratulations. If you liked this video and you want more, make sure you let me know down in the comments down below. Make sure you go check out all the other how to plays that I make. With that said, thank you much for watching, and I wish you well.